The Chicago Bears will continue the rebuild in the 2023 NFL Draft. And yes, if last season was any indicator, they're going to build around Justin Fields. They're going to get him protection. They're going to get him more help. Well, actually, their three starting wide receivers are going to be pretty studly next year. But yes, they're also going to get him defensive help. And I think we're going to cover all that in our dream draft scenarios for the Chicago Bears 2023 edition. Now, just a little bit of a recap. Yes, they traded down with the Carolina Panthers. What was it, like a month or two ago? They didn't really necessarily get a ton off the top of my head, but I think it was they actually got quite a bit though. Like they got obviously they got 9, but they also got Carolina's first round pick next year. They got a 2 the following year after that, and like I said, quite honestly, it wasn't the end of the world to get that kind of a thing done, but they did get it done, and they're going to sit in a pretty good spot heading into the draft. Still sitting at 9, where they could get a really good defensive player. We'll talk about it here. So when we're talking about the dream draft scenarios for the Chicago Bears, so I'm going to go ahead and start the draft. So right off the bat, there's been rumors like this literally has been a typical draft season. Like literally all the smoke screens, Houston saying they're fielding offers, or they're listening to offers for the second overall pick, and the Cardinals saying they're going to trade down, like the Titans saying they're going to trade up. Like it's literally smoke screen season. Like that's literally is what it is at this point. But overall, it really does come down to where the quarterbacks are going to go here. So obviously the Bears are kind of showing that they're out on quarterbacks, and they're just going to go with getting either defensive help or maybe a guy like Peter Skoronski. We'll get into all that in a second. But to me, it really does come down to where the first 4 quarterbacks go. Because like I said, Anthony Richardson, he's been a guy that's been very polarizing. Been a lot of fun seeing him fly up draft boards. And then also, Will Levis, I'm really interested to see where he goes, and CJ Stroud is definitely one of those guys that I think is everybody is keeping their eye on. So, but for the Bears at number 9, I think that they're in a pretty good spot. Now, they're going to lose out on a shot, most likely to get Jalen Carter and Will Anderson Jr. That is if the Arizona Cardinals end up trading down, because again, I really feel like the Cardinals are going to get an absolute just haul for the 3rd overall pick. Even the Texans, to a degree, if they don't want to trade, or if they feel like they're going to be bad enough to be able to get a top quarterback next year, kind of one of those things where fine, they can trade down, see what they can get for it, and go from there. But after the first 4 quarterbacks are going, obviously it's going to be Will Anderson Jr., Tyree Wilson, Devin Witherspoon. All this makes sense. And then you get to the Bears at 9. Now on the board right now, you got Peter Skoronski, who honestly, he's not going to play tackle. If anything, he's going to play right tackle in the NFL. Like, I think he's got the intangibles. He doesn't have the longest arms, which I know it makes a big deal in the NFL, but I think he would be a fantastic guard in the NFL. I think he would make a lot of sense there. And I know you signed, Nate Davis in the offseason, but I think Peter Skoronski could come in at left guard, maybe play right tackle if you needed him to. So I would be okay with Peter Skoronski in this spot right here. But again, just to show you what else is on the board, Kalijah Cansey's still there. You're going to be back at 53. Now, the dream draft scenario for me would honestly be Skoronski falling to you at 9, or also, like Jalen Carter, with all of the issues we've seen, or with a lot of teams showing the red flags for Jalen Carter. There's a chance he could still fall to 9. That's an absolute possibility, and I do think it could happen. Will Anderson Jr., I think people are done overthinking that one. So if you want to talk about dream draft scenarios, it's either Peter Skoronski or a guy like Jalen Carter falling to you at 9. It really doesn't get any much better than that. Or if you want to go Christian Gonzalez too, I really think this is a really good spot for the Bears, because you do have a couple of different needs along that defense. So, all those guys coming in, this would be a lot of fun. So right here, I would go Peter Skoronski if it was me. And again, this isn't a mock draft. We're just showing you what we expect and think could happen for the Chicago Bears. And that should be dream draft scenario. So it's Peter Skoronski or Jalen Carter right there, or a guy like Christian Gonzalez, which would make a lot of sense. Now, the nice thing about the trade for the Panthers earlier that I mentioned was the fact that, there are, they were able to keep their early 2nd round pick. But also, it's literally like the Bears have 3 picks from 53 to 64, and it looks really good. So right in the bottom of the 2nd round, I think this is where the Bears can do a lot of damage. So right here, you've had a need at center. Like, don't get me wrong, Cody Whitehair is that dude. I've loved him for a long time. Like, he's just been a player for them along that offensive line. He's literally been like one of their most solid players, to be honest with you. But into the 2nd round here, I really do think it really depends on who's going to fall there at tackle, because I would love DeJuan Jones to come in and start at left tackle. But I would also think that he's probably going to be best suited at right tackle. So I could see the Bears potentially trading down again if and I did forget to mention. So if you also want to go tackle, if my mouse would cooperate with me, if you want to go tackle at 9, I could see them going with any of the tackles as well. So Darnell Wright's there. We also talked about Broderick Jones, Antone Harrison. So if they wanted to go with any one of those tackles, I would be okay with that. And if they want to go maybe if they go let's say Paris Johnson Jr. At 9, and then in the second round to go with a guy like Cody Muck, who's projected to play guard anyway, I think that would be just as much of a dream draft scenario as Jalen Carter falling to you at 9 as well. So, but plus you got Luke Whippler there, Julius Brents to help you out at corner. So, again, I'm not going to go ahead and draft any of these, but I think this, truthfully, the Bears are in a really good spot because they can still get the best tackle / guard that they want at 9, and Peter Skoronski, who I think again is going to be a guard. They could trade down if they don't really like how the board falls, but they're right in line to get that best offensive lineman, best defensive player available, or one of them, excuse me. Again, I know Will Anderson Jr. and Jalen Carter aren't going to be there, but they're in a really good spot heading into the 2023 NFL draft, having, having a couple of second round picks and then also having the first pick of the third round. So right in that run, that is to me where what is a dream draft scenario for the Chicago Bears, because they've got 3 picks, right there nearly back to back to be able to really help out this offensive line and the rest of this roster. But that's it. That is the dream draft scenarios we have for the Chicago Bears. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow there. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the dream draft scenarios for the Chicago Bears in the 2023 NFL Draft.